there everyone, this is Carmen from EC Language. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually going to switch back to doing a little bit of Chinese with you guys, so hence why I'm speaking in English, which I haven't done so in a while in my videos. So what will we be doing today? So we will be looking at big numbers in Chinese, and today I'm mainly going to focus on Cantonese, but I will be covering a bit of Mandarin too because they are essentially the same thing. First of all, I'm going to just explain the kind of rule of Chinese numbers. They are different from English numbers, bear that in mind. So in English, we have something called the rule of three, right? So when starting from 1,000, every 3 zeros or every 3 figures would have a new name. So we've got 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and then you got a million. That's when you get 6 zeros, right? So we've got 1, 10, 100, and 1,000. These are essentially the same in Chinese. And then you got 10,000. This is where things start getting weird, which I will explain to you in a bit. And then you got 100,000, 1,000, so 1 million and 10 million. 10 million is where we're going to look up to today in Chinese, so that's why I've got it listed up to 10 million. Okay, so first we're going to discuss the numbers 10 to 10 million. Again, I'm going to also explain this new naming concept in Chinese. So the first, 3 here on the list, 10, 100, and 1,000, the naming sense is pretty much the same as it is in English. We've got 10 or 10 for 10, 100 or 100 for 100, and 1000 or 1000 for 1000. And then when we get to 10,000, so in English, we have the rule of 3. But in Chinese, we have the rule of 4 instead. So for every 4 zeros, we get a new name for the number. In this case, 10,000 is called 1,000,000, which is 1 man. So for the sake of this video and also for the sake of understanding, I'm going to call it a man. So 1,000,000 or 1,000,000 in Mandarin. So 1,000,000 is 10,000, that's 1 man. We've got 100,000, it's called 10,000,000 or 10,000,000, which is 10 mans. Then we've got 1 million. So in English, this is where the name of it changes. It's no longer 1,000, it's a million now. So we call it 8,000,000. But as you can see in Chinese, it's still a man. It's not a new name, it's still a man. So I've got 8,000,000 or 百万 in Mandarin. And finally, 10 million is 10,000,000 or 10,000,000 in Mandarin. And here, we're still in the mans. So this is 1,000 mans. If we add an extra 0 to this number, we're going to have a new name. So we're not going to cover that in this lesson. We're just going to look at the mans and the wans. At this point, you're still probably quite confused. Like, what is a man? What is a wan? So basically, I'm going to use this algebraic method to explain it. So don't stress. No, algebra and maths is not everyone's forte. It definitely isn't my forte. But it really helps explain the concept, okay? So we are going to use algebra. Think of man as a common variable. Okay, so I'm going to assign some algebraic variables to these numbers. Okay, so for sub, I'm going to assign an S to it because S for sub. And then for 100, I'm going to give it a B. 1000 is going to be a C. And all of the mans is going to be an M. Okay, so forget about the yat. If you remember, yat means 1. Okay, so what 100 essentially means is 100. And then you got 1000, which is 1,000. And then you got 1,000,000, which is like, if there is such thing as a man in Chinese and in English, we'd call it a 1 man, right? But for the sake of algebra, we are just going to use S, B, C, and M. And just to remind you, 1 M is equivalent to 4 zeros. Okay, so basically it looks like this. Every 4 zero is a man, or a wan if you're learning Mandarin. So we're going to practice with this number, 54,738. So first of all, I'm just going to bring this chart up because it will help us. So the first thing we need to do is partition this number. Okay, so if you remember from primary school maths, partitioning is basically split this number apart. So first of all, we've got 50,000. Okay, so how do we say 50,000? We basically say 5 plus the word for man, because remember, in Chinese, we don't have this idea of 50,000. We have 5 man. That is what we have, is man, or 1 in Mandarin. So be careful not to use the yat, because yat means 1. Okay, so if your number is 10,000, you can use 1,000,000. But here it's man, 1. And then we're going to look at the next number up, which is the 4,000. Okay, so 4,000, same thing as in English. We literally just have 4,000. So here again, it's not 1,000 because that would mean 1,000. We want 4,000. That is 4,000 or 4,000 in Mandarin. And then straightforward next, we've got 700. And we've got the 100 up here. And 700 is 700 or 700 in Mandarin. Then we've got 30. And then it gets to 30. So remember for sub, it just means 10, right? And then you will need the 3 to make it 30. So 30. And then finally we have 8, which is a constant. It's just ba or ba in Chinese Mandarin. Now what you basically do is you combine everything together. Okay, so you kind of algebraify it, if that makes sense. Okay, so if you remember the variables I assigned just now, so we've got M for 4 zeros, and you've got C for 3 zeros, that's your 1,000, and you've got B for 2 zeros, that's your 100, and you've got S for 1 zero, that's your 30, and then 8 is a constant, and in algebra, 8 is just a number, it doesn't have an algebraic variable. So if you combine it all together, you've got 5M plus 4C plus 7B plus 3S plus 8. So if you look at that algebraically, you can't really simplify that further because you've got different variables. So all you need to do now is just write out the number as it is. And you've got 54,738 or Mandarin 54,738. And that is your big numbers in Chinese. So now we're going to move on to a bigger number. Okay, so 548,286. Once again, let's partition the number. We've got 500,000, which is man. So remember we got a man for 100,000. You want 500,000, so what we need to do is slap a nice 5 in front of it, and you've got man. Okay, once again, not 500,000, man. 50 mans, or 50万 in Mandarin. The next value up, you've got 40,000. Okay, so we've done this before. It's 4man, 4 mans, 4万. Next up, you have the 1,000 digit, which is 8,000. You've got 8,000, 8,000. And then you've got 200, which is 100 or 200. And then 80, which is 80, 80. And then finally, you've got your constant, which is a 6, simply 6. Right, so now let's assign the algebraic variables to it. You've got the first 4 zeros, you've got n. And then you've got another 4 zeros, another n. And now you've got C, B, S, and then 6 is just nothing. Once again, you combine it. Because there's not enough space on this page, I'm just going to make a new page. So basically what you do when you combine it is just like this, right? You've got 50m plus 4m plus 8c plus 2b plus 8s plus 6. And as you can see, I've highlighted the 4 zeros to make it clearer to you. So every 4 zero is equivalent to 1m, 1 man. So as you can see, you've got 50 and then you've got 4 zeros. And then you've got 4 and then 4 zeros. Therefore, those are both mans. And if you look at this algebraically, as you can see, we've got like terms. Right, so 50m plus 4m, you can combine that, you can simplify that. And what do you get when you simplify it? You get 54m plus 8c plus 2b plus 8s plus 6. And basically same thing as last time. You basically say this number as it is, plus the variables. So 54. The way you say 54 is, as such. In Cantonese, this is your number. 54man, 54m. 8,286. Or 54,886 is the one in Mandarin. So it's literally as simple as that, right? As soon as you combine your like terms, you get 54m, and you just say 54 in Chinese, and then man. That's all you need to do. So as you can see, this is how it's split up. 54, 8, 200, 8, 6. Okay, so it's 54 mans, 8,286. Now let's look at the next value up, which is your millions. You've got 3,621,795. Here again, we have the chart to help us. Same thing, just partition it first. So first we've got the million. Let's partition that. So 3 million, which is obviously 300万. 300万. And you got your 100,000, which is your 10 mans, which is 60万. 60万. And then you've got the 20,000, sorry, I nearly said 200, 20,000, which is 2万, 2万. And then you've got 1,000, 1,000, or 1,000, and then you've got the 100, which is 700, 700, 700, and then 90, 90, 90. Finally, you have your constant, which is 5, 5. And here we have the first 4 zeros, which is M. And you've got another 4 zeros, another N, and then another 4 zeros, another M. And then the rest is C, B, S, and that's it. And then all you need to do is combine it. So we get 300M plus 60M plus 2M plus 1C plus 7B plus 9S plus 5. Obviously that is very long, so you just collect your like terms, which is your M's, and you should get 362M plus 1C plus 7B plus 9S plus 5. It's still a very long formula, but it is a lot more simpler than having 3 different M's. And again, you just list it out as you would in Chinese, which is 362万 1795 or 362万 1795. Now let's look at the final number that we're going to cover today, which is the 10 millions. So I've given this number 75,682,198. Here's your chart to help you. Again, just partition it as you would. 70 million is basically 1,000 man. So 70 million would be 7,000万, 7,000万. And then you've got the 5 million, which is 500万, 500万. Then you've got 600,000, which is 60万, 60万. And then you've got 80,000, which is 8万, 8万. And then you've got 2,000, which is 1,000, 2,000. And you've got your 100, which is 100, 100. 90, 90, 90. And then you've got your constant of 8, 8, 8. So once again, I'm just going to highlight all the M's. Another M, another M, another M. Okay, so every 40 is worth 1 M. And then C, B, S. And then you do the same thing where you combine everything and you will get this, which is 7,000M plus 500M plus 60M plus 8M plus 2C plus 1B plus 9S plus 8. It's very long, isn't it? So you have to collect like terms, and you will get 7,568M plus 2C plus 1B plus 9S plus 8. So obviously when you translate that into Chinese, it will be very long. It is normal, okay? But it is very long, okay? And then you get the final number of 7,568万 1,198. That's it. And in Mandarin is 7,568万 2,198. Okay, here are some numbers for you to practice, and here's the chart to help you. Pause the video and convert these numbers into Chinese. Once you're ready, play the video again, and I'll reveal the answers to you. Alright, so here are the answers. How did you do? So hopefully you got them right. If you got any of those wrong, have a look at where you made a mistake. Go back in the video, revise, and then try it again. Right, so I hope that was helpful for you, and you've learned how to use algebra to do big Chinese numbers. Thank you very much for watching. Next time I'll go back to doing an English video, or a video about English in Cantonese, so stay tuned. Bye bye!